skill development, nothing about PowerPoint, nothing about that. The focus was totally on quality. So when you have a corporate university that has one focus, one thing that it focuses on, then I call it the strategic business focus. And this is a very useful kind of corporate university. This is very effective. So if your company has a quality problem, then creating a corporate university that focuses just on quality can be extremely useful for your company. Maybe it's on globalization. So many companies say, we must expand beyond the region. We must invest in China and Thailand and India and other parts of the world. And so the corporate university's job is to train employees how to be global. How do you work in other countries? How do you invest in other countries? Maybe it's languages. All the kinds of things that you must learn if you're going to go outside the university. So that's the whole purpose of the corporate university. The whole purpose of it. And it might be on empowerment inside the company, letting people make decisions, driving the decision-making process down in the organization. So, in doing that, you have to provide skills, and you have to help do business development, but it's all connected to quality or globalization or some initiative that you have. And again, the very best example I know of this is what I'm already getting. It's very good. General Electric has some like this, it's done some of this as well, although they tend to have two focuses at General Electric. One focus is the strategic business initiative. So IBM again has had one at the beginning when IBM made a huge transition. I think most of you realize that IBM used to do what? Used to make what? Used to make computers, right? And typewriters and all kinds of equipment. They don't make any computers now. They sold the laptop division. They sold it to China, to Lenovo. They sold off the PC division to another company. They only have a very small piece of IBM that makes computers. Only the mainframe computer. But what does IBM do now? Right? Solution provider. A solution provider. Now, what that means is they will do your IT for you. So they will manage all of your information technology for your company. In other words, you can outsource everything to them, and they will manage it for you. They also purchased PricewaterhouseCoopers, the consulting company, and they also provide consulting. So IBM's changed from manufacturing computers to being a solution provider and a consulting company. Think that's easy? Huge change. Right? Incredibly huge change. They were very successful at doing that. Most companies failed. One reason that they were so successful is their corporate education that they put in place. And part of the skill building here that I'm showing you for skill development is around developing consultants. So if you're hired at IBM and you're going to be a consultant, or you're going to be selling their solutions. So the two things they train you for mostly are sales and consulting. So if you take that skill development I showed you, that's going to teach you how to do one of these two things. So IBM's focus was how do we change our company and make it from computer manufacturer to solution provider and consulting company. And continue to be profitable and continue to make money. That's very difficult to do. And they were very successful in doing it. And partly, again, because of education. The other company that does this extremely well, I think, is IBM. And they focus right here. This year, for example, this was in 1999. The reason I put it here is to actually put this in the annual report of the company. This was not given just to HR or every stockholder in the company got this. And the focus of that year, 1999 General Electric, John Love said, my whole focus is education issue. It's employee development is the only way that General Electric will be successful over the next decade as we move into the 21st century. So they cover everything: globalization, Six Sigma, product services, and it's all focused on new thinking in these areas. So one of the things that Jack Welch would like to do is challenge every assumption. He would come in and say, why do we sell light bulbs? Let's get out of it, what happened? And he wants his whole management team to challenge him and convince him that they should continue to sell the light bulbs. But his thing was challenge everything all the time. Challenge everything, and if you can't defend it, get rid of it. So if I can't explain to you why we should make light bulbs, then let's stop making light bulbs. So I think this year you will see that now they still make refrigerators, and things like that. I think this year they will stop that. Because at the last meeting they couldn't defend it anymore. It's not profitable enough. And General Electric is really good at making big things, giant things like power generating equipment or engines for airplanes. So General Electric makes big things. Refrigerators is too small. I think they will not make light bulbs either. I think they're going to stop making all that light bulbs. So it's interesting to look at. But most of this comes from discussions they have at the Corporate Learning Institute. And he brings the senior management there, and they challenge the future. They talk about the future. And they say, what should we do? What should we stop doing? Is this product still good or not good to be made? Why should we make it? And what would happen if we stop making it? And what if we move all of our money into something else? What would happen there? Well, it's a very interesting process. So they changed the name of their corporate university. They now call it the John Welch Leadership Center. And they named it after him when he retired. Because he was the CEO that was the most committed to this learning institution and to learning at GE. And he spent most of his time and money there. And he said it was the only reason for General Electric's success was that they invested so much money in education and development. So, this is their strategy, which is pretty interesting. This is their learning strategy. They said, the only way a company like ours could move quickly and successfully through times of radical change was to use every mind in the company and to involve everybody in the game of changing the company. So this was pretty powerful. And John Welch said, we're a very old company. We make things that are pretty old-fashioned, like they make trains, they make power generating stations. This is not exciting stuff. If you go to college and you recruit a young person, would you like to come and make a train? Not excited. Would you like to be an engineer for a refrigerator? Not excited. So they had a difficult time in recruiting young people to come work at GE. Very hard time. So they started to change things a lot at GE. And this is interesting how your corporate learning can change your strategy, or how your strategy can change your corporate learning. So now, I'm sure you don't pay attention to a lot of stuff from GE, but what they're focused on right now is about green, things that are good for the environment. So all of their recruiting and training now is about the products they make that help the world be green. So they're focusing on things like clean water for everybody in the world. And now they're starting to manufacture equipment to clean water, desalinization plants, water filtering equipment. They're starting to market things to clean the air from the factories, various equipment to clean up the air. So the focus of BE right now is on how do we be more environmentally friendly, how do we help the world better from an environmental perspective. And now they're using this in their training. So they're training every employee to be green. And how do we think as a company about how do we make our products use less energy? How do we make our products more recyclable so we can recycle them? How do we do this for everything that we make? So every employee is